It's Sunday, it's 7 o'clock, and it's time for Wilson Waffling Live. I should have a bit there that says Wilson Waffling Live, but I don't. It's just Wilson Waffling. Hello, it's Sunday. It's that special time of the week because it's 7 o'clock and it is Wilson Waffling Live. And if you are watching this live, then welcome to the stream. It's lovely to have you along. If you're not watching this live, but you're watching it on YouTube tomorrow, which of course is now your today, then I hope you enjoy the show as it progresses. I must apologise, I just noticed that when I started to stream, I suddenly realised that my gym kit is on the radiator there drying. So I do apologise, just ignore that, just pretend it's not there at all. Now, I've got another apology to make as well. Oh, excuse me, my second apology is that last week, I don't know if you watched last week's show, but I did a Minecraft montage. I've just forgot. I haven't tweeted it. There you go. Just to say that I'm live. Last week I did a Minecraft montage, and I was still getting used to my new mixer and Wirecast and everything like that. And I suddenly realised when I listened back to the recording that I had left the Minecraft music playing right the way through, non-stop. It didn't stop once right the way through, and so I put some annotation on the YouTube video as it came through, but I do apologise, and I'm going to do a lot better today. I know I'm going to do a lot better today because there isn't a Minecraft montage, and I'll tell you why later on. So if you're holding out for the Minecraft montage, then I'm sorry to say it's not going to be on the server or anything like that this week, so don't worry, it will come back, but before we go any further, we have to do the first segment of the show, which is always the same, which is of course the tweet of the week. And I always say tweet of the week, and it's always really tweets of the week. And did you notice that lovely transition there? As I came on, I had a Twitter bird in my face. That wasn't meant to happen. I should have just played once and then stopped. So I'm just wondering why it didn't play once. Oh, that's why. Sorted it. I've sorted it, so don't worry. Tweet of the week, tweets of the week. So this is a part of the show that I look back on the week and share with you some of the tweets that I saw and some of the images that sort of like conjured up as we went through the week. So the first one that I would like to sort of like point out is that I have a colleague at university called Richard Day, who I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name on the show. I just thought about that. Oh, I might have to scrub that now. We'll see. Anyway, a colleague at work who has started to get very sort of like philosophical. He is becoming very, very philosophical, and he has started to post quotations. And here we go. Here's the quotations. Those who tell the stories rule society, by Plato. Not only is it philosophical, not only is it literacy based, not only does it have that certain rhythm and rhyme to it, it also has that mysterious quality of Greek mythology and philosophy because it's by Plato. Those who tell the stories rule society. I'm sure that is correct. I'm sure that is correct. Although I must admit, to start off with, I thought, I don't think do I understand that? Do I actually understand that, I wonder? But apparently it was very philosophical, Richard, and I appreciate that. So that was sort of like got my week off to a good start, and I became very philosophical about the world. Very philosophical about the world, because then what came along was this. Look! A giraffe! It's a giraffe! It's only 6 more days. And it's a lovely laughing giraffe. It's a lovely laughing giraffe. And I think it's 6 more days. Well, it was 6 more days when this came out, because I think that's to the 1st of October, which I think is something to do with the Save the Giraffe Day or something like that. So I have to look into that. But I couldn't let the moment go by. I couldn't let the moment go by without sharing with you a picture of a giraffe. Because, I mean, who would not want to see a picture of a giraffe? And that should just be it. You know, that should make your day, seeing a picture of a giraffe. So, and keeping on the idea of pictures, and what was going on in the world, was that we see a lot of Lego scenarios at the moment, and they're sort of like Lego Batman and Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Star Wars, but this was the first time I've actually seen this, which is Lego Dune. Now, you might not. Now, if I'm right, and I'm sure somebody will pick me up on this and either put it in the comments below if they're watching YouTube, or type it in chat pretty soon, or even tweet me or message me on Facebook, because was Dune written by Frank Herbert? Was it Frank Herbert that wrote Dune? Am I right with that? And I remember it's about Dune's a spice world, and spice world is another word for a drug, I think. And that is one of the huge worms that they drum on the actual ground to sort of like get them to sort of like jump out, and they tame them in the end. It's a very good film. I think it had Sting in it. I have a vision that it had Sting in it, and something known as a Jesuit witch, I think it was, who could sort of like had telepathy. I'll have to go back and have a look at it, but I'm sure it was Frank Herbert. So, but if you know, then either tweet me or send me a message on Facebook, or type it in the chat and sort of like say who it was. All you literature people. So, you know, all the people who understood that quotation from Richard, then can you just let me know, was it actually Frank Herbert? Was that the person who actually did it? And keeping on the idea of Lego and Lego characters, my next picture that I saw on Twitter was shared by somebody called Mark Anderson, and I follow Mark Anderson's a trainer and teacher, I think, in IT, and I thought this was fantastic because it states collaboration at its best, and you can see it's a whole load of stormtroopers helping Darth Vader up to the top for a pint of Guinness. How fantastic is that? And I don't know if you know this, but if you read any of the confession blog from last week, you'll know that I'm a bit of a gamer, and I actually play a game called Star Wars The Old Republic, and so I've been playing on the Empire side recently, and I thought that was fantastic. I thought that is collaboration at its finest, you know, those little stormtroopers all helping Lord Vader up to the top. It was... I'm trying, you know, this is not going to be the best show around because I keep forgetting, but what is the... there was a scene, wasn't there, when Darth Vader's in the canteen on the Death Star? What's that? What's that scene from? Is it Eddie Izzard who does a scene from when Lord Vader's in the canteen in the Death Star? I don't know, but if it is, it's very funny, and it's worth. I don't know whether or not I would search on YouTube and share it with you, but I have a dreadful feeling that it's not actually suitable. That's what my feeling is. So, hope you enjoyed those tweets. That brings us to the end of the tweet. Oh, I don't think this is working very well. We're going to try to do the inter-segment, but we'll see whether or not. The tweet of the week. End of segment. Here we go. How was that? Did it work? Did it work? I can't actually hear at that point because it means turning the microphone on and off into my ears, and if I hear the music, I'm just waiting, I'm just watching the screens because I suddenly had a vision of it keep going backwards and forwards like this all the time. It's really strange at the moment because I've got the live stream over there, and so I can see it, and there's a slight delay just in case anything goes wrong, so I'm trying to keep an eye on everything, although at the moment I've got nothing playing through my headphones, so which is probably good news. But I do have the sort of like the Wirecast stream over there. So yeah, so that was tweet of the week. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you picked up some interesting points from that. And we're going to move straight on to the game, because if you remember, every week I actually have a game that I play with you guys, and it's a game that is called Guess the Drawing. And Guess the Drawing is something that I do online with you, and the idea is that you have to guess the drawing. Now there's various ways that you can send in your answer, and if you remember last week I think it was too difficult, so I did something very easy for you, very easy for you this week. And what I've tried to do is that I've tried to do again something a little bit easier for you, something a little bit easier. I'm just popping up, because if you remember, this is very technical. This is very technical, this part, because what I have to actually do is get my iPad to be on the screen. So I'm just seeing whether or not it's actually going to pick it up or not. We're nearly there. I've got an iPad, but it's not actually. We want the window, and we want that, and oh, it's there, we've got it, people. So let's just pick up the right picture that I want, and let's go to last week's picture to remind ourselves what the picture was, and to see whether or not you guessed it correctly. So this was last week's picture. And of course it was a film. It was a famous film, and as far as I can say, I haven't checked all the places, but nobody tweeted me or entered a poll or anything. So it was either that nobody had a guess, or everybody had a guess because it was far too easy. It was a film, and it was, of course, the film was Spider-Man. And you could have any version of it. You could have the Amazing Spider-Man, you could have Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, whatever you wanted, it was there, and that was the film of Spider-Man. So today we're going to have a new film. So this is another film. So this is a film, and you have to guess what film it is. Now this is really difficult. I have a random generator, or like a Pictionary, and it randomly generates a picture for me. And so I've got this random picture that came up, and it produced this word, and this word is a film. It's another film, and it's quite a long title. So here we go. So I've got my iPad here now, so I'm going to draw it, and you should be able to see it on the screen. Hopefully you could bear with me. Remember, I'm not the best drawer. Can you guess what it is yet? So this, bear with me. Okay, so that's one. This is this another word. Oops. This is another word. There's going to be a bit creative here. Can you guess what film it is yet? It's a film, remember? It's a film. And then this is the last one. How can I draw this? There you go. That last one's not very good. Hang on. Pretend it's me. Pretend it's me. That might give you a bit of a clue. So this is a famous film. Film. And it's quite a long film. It's quite a long title. I don't know whether it is quite... It's a normal length film. It's a normal length film. But this is the draw something for this week. It's a name of a film. So all you've got to do is let me know what you think the answer is. And you can do that by doing one of the following. If you are watching this on YouTube, then there will be a link down below to a poll that you can go and you can type on your answer. And you could do it anonymously if you wish. Or if you have watched this from the link on my website, then you'll find the same link down below that you can click on and enter your poll, enter your what you think it is. You can also, if you wish, message me on Facebook. Make sure you message me, don't put it in the stream, because then everybody will find out what it is. Or the other thing that you can do is that you can tweet me on Twitter, and just remember that the hashtag for that is I just noticed that a retweet has appeared on my iPad as I was doing the show. Never mind. As I said, Twitter, which is quite nice. And if you want to tweet me the answer, that you can tweet me at iWilsonYSJ. And that will tweet straight into me, and you can find out the answer. And you can do it. Now, the other thing is, somebody asked me a while back. They said, is there a prize for this? Is there a prize for this? And I've been thinking, should I have a prize for draw something? Should I actually have a prize? Or is it just for fun? Because I think this one is just for fun. And because I have another competition that runs on my website that has a big prize. But I'm wondering whether or not I should draw something part of that quiz. And because I can put a question in there. And I wonder whether or not people can get extra entries on there. Today, the quiz, there's going to be some very lucky winners on this week's quiz, because when I last looked, there's only 2 people who have entered it. So either one of you has got a very good chance to actually get the prize. So we're going to talk about what the prize is while we have a look, have a perusal in my second favourite. Well, it is the third segment of the show, which of course is the website roundup. So this is the website roundup. So welcome to the website roundup. And the website roundup, which is very difficult to say, is when I bring together a whole load of things that is happening that on web pages around. So a bit like the tweets of the week is mainly Twitter. This is my web page or other web pages that I've seen, and interesting things that I've seen either to do with just general interesting things or things to do with mathematics or teaching or twaddle or technology. So the first thing I would like to draw your attention to is there's a wonderful site called the-scientist.com, and I watch this. I keep an eye on the RSS feed because I really like science and things like that. Obviously, I teach it. But one of the things that it tends to do is that it tends to give an image of the day. An image of the day. And one of the things that I often like to look at it, and some of it is sort of like microscopic organisms and things like that. But this one really caught my eye, because this one that we're going to see now, if I can get it up, yeah, this one is called Hello World, and this was called Hello World. And look people, let me just zoom in a bit and move it up. Look at that, how sweet is that? How sweet. Now it's actually a desert tortoise hatching from its egg. That's what it is. How sweet is that? I don't know what these bits are here, but I mean, look at its little legs, its little claws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same as that. And its first sort of like first look of the world. There it is, just creeping out. Now, of course, the web page is the-scientist.com, and this is a really good site to keep up to date with any scientific breakthroughs, but also this image of the day is really nice, and you can use a lot of these for creative work. And I actually have in one of my previous shows, I've actually talked about this and how to use it, so by all means look back. You know, I was just realizing this is, I didn't say this, but this is episode 52, is it? 52, another 48. Yes, I do teach maths. Another 48 and we'll be at 100. How fantastic is that? So that was one of the things that sort of like one of the websites I saw, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. The other thing that I saw this week was a bit mathematical, and you might want to, if you don't like mathematics, then you might want to block your ears. But if you do like mathematics, this is from a blog called This Is My Classroom, and it's by, do you know, isn't this funny? I'm not too sure who actually writes this blog. I think it's a guy. Let's see if I can, I'm just looking at it now and can't see. Well, it's it's Mr. Nick Hart. Mr. Nick Hart writes this. And if you're interested in mathematics, especially in primary school mathematics or even secondary school mathematics, then there's a wonderful article here called Focusing on Teaching Additive Reasoning. And it's all about teaching mathematics or additional subtraction when you've got this box in the middle. You know, when there's a box sort of like missing and there's an unknown. It's almost like the beginning of algebra, so to speak. And there's a lovely article for this, and it's sort of like we do a lot of this, like the stories around. So B plus C equals A, and C plus B equals A, and A minus B, the stories of that whole and part and things like that, which leads you down to this, which is all like inverse operations. So it's a really good article. You can find this on at thisismyclassroom.wordpress.com. So it's a wordpress.com site, so it's a free site, and you can find it there. And there's a load of interesting articles about reading and leadership and things like that. So by all means, if you're a keen mathematician, then this is a really good site to go and have a look at. Now, as well as looking at other people's sites, the other thing I like to do is just bring you up to date with my site. So remember, I have a website, if you don't know, and if you don't know, then I am most definitely upset because I do have a website called wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and wilsonwaffling.co.uk. Oh, it's not working. Why? Oh, that's why it's not working. It's working now, don't worry. This is wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and I'd just like to point out that I've done a blog post this week on how I organise my life. This is all about capturing those tasks and how to actually, I'll just zoom in a bit, and how to capture tasks. This of course is it in real. I don't know whether or not this will work. Hang on, let's see if this will work.
I have many things in life which I enjoy doing.
Oh, I don't know whether or not you got a bit of feedback there. Do you get a bit of feedback? Because I got a bit of feedback then in my headphones, so I'm not going to press that again. What I'm going to do is that I'll look back on the recording to see whether or not you actually got feedback then, but we'll see. Oh, I don't want to go into Facebook. Good grief. I wonder. I've gone into Facebook again. What's going on?
Ranging from writing these waffles to streaming games and making YouTube videos. I am passionate about learning and how we can impact on this, and of course the use of technology. But one area which I dabble my feet in now and again is task and time management, and since the semester has just begun, it seemed appropriate to waffle about this.
Dun, dun, dun. And then you get the music. Excellent. So if you're interested in how I organise my life and how I do task managing, then there's a wonderful blog post there for you to go and look at. Also remember, we had some Ask Me questions last week. If you had £5 left in your pocket, what would you spend it on? And you can see that's last week's show that I left the music on, so you can go and have a look at the answer to that. And also, where do you shop the most? I also answered that in the video as well, so you can go and have a look at both those. I'm just checking that I don't have the same t-shirt on as last week, because that would be pretty disastrous. So you can go and have a look at both those answers. Oh look, there's a question. There's a question. And how exciting. And also, of course, if you do want to ask me a question, then you can just go up here where it says ask me, and you can just type the question in there, and I I'll do the answer in the stream. 52 answers, look. There's been 52 answers. So that's roughly the same amount. So well done all those people who keep asking me questions. Keep it up. I did think at one point whether or not I should stop doing it every week and just sort of like build it up for one big show. And you know, if you look at the famous YouTubers, and they sort of like do a question and answer session, I've also noticed that what they do is that they just ask it on Twitter, give me a question, and all of a sudden sort of like loads of questions actually come in. But I don't think that's how it works for me. I don't think I get loads of questions. I just think I get 1 or 2 a week, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. So what I tend to sort of like drip it in every week, so to speak. But if I find that there's a sudden rush, then I'll put, if I have, say for example, I know that there's one question there, but say for example we have 15 questions, then of course what I will do is that I'll put it all together in a special live show. How about that? A special live show just for you. So the other thing that I would like to draw your attention to is that if you go, let me just zoom back to default. If you go up here, oh hang on, there's no point saying to go up here when you can't actually see it. There you go. So if you go up here where it says badges and levels, down at the bottom there's an option to win a badge. You can win a badge, and here this is where you can win a badge, but also you can get a £5 Amazon gift voucher. Now there's only 2 people playing the game at the moment, and there's 3 days left. Now remember how this works. This is quite clever how this works, because it's a bit like the Hunger Games. Do you remember on the Hunger Games, the older you are, the more names go into the hat. So if you're sort of like nearly, I think is it 16 or 18, can't remember, then your name has a bigger chance of being pulled out. Right. So what the competition is, and it's so simple. I can't have made it even more simpler. I really could not. All you need to do is that every time you go onto the competition, you can log into it, by either using your email, your Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud or Twitter, and you log in, and you have to log in because that gives me an email that I can send the prize to. And then all it says is that it gives you a whole load of things to do. So for example, if you visit the page of this week's Wilson Waffling about capturing notes, etc., then you get an entry into the competition. If you watch this video, then you get 5 entries into the competition. If you answer a question, you get 5 entries into the competition, so forth and so on. And then all you do is that as those build up, you get more and more chance to win the competition. And then the competition will finish at the end of September. And then what will happen then is that the computer will automatically pick a random winner based on the probability and of entry. So say for example, those 2 people are playing. If one person's got 1 entry and the other person's got 9 entries, then this person has 90% chance of winning and this person has 10% chance of winning, so forth and so on. So if you are interested, there is a I Waffled with Wilson badge, and there's also a £5 Amazon gift voucher. It used to be just the badge, but very few people used to play. So I'm now upping the ante a bit to give a £5 Amazon gift voucher as well. So by all means, pop along and enter the competition. Now, if you're suddenly thinking, oh, I don't think I can do this, I don't think I can do this, there's only 3 days left, then don't worry, the whole competition will run again in October. So it's going on and on and on. So you don't get 2 badges. Can I just say this? If you win it the second time, you still get the Amazon gift voucher, but you don't get the badge. Okay, you can only have 1 because they're special, a bit like me. I got called special once, yeah. I don't think it was in a nice way, but yeah, special. So you can only have 1 badge, but you can still keep playing to get the Amazon gift voucher. So go along and have a go. So that is here on my website, and you can find it up here where it says badges and levels, and go down to win a badge. Only 2 entries. How exciting. Go along and get entering. I was trying to think of a better word to say. Get entering as soon as you can. So, that is the end. Anything else? No, that is the end of the website roundup. Here we go. Am I back? Did that work? I'm just looking at the stream, and as it passes across, all I'm doing is this. And I need to quickly do something like change a hat or something, or change my face or something like that. I'll have to sort of like duck out the way and then suddenly pop back up again or something like that. So yeah, so that was the website roundup. So we've had the tweets of the week, we've had draw something, we've had the website roundup, and just looking at my running order. Update. Getting very close to my own radio show, by the way. So, you know, the 4 people who listen and watch this, if you can watch my radio station as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. I would be right chuffed about that, I tell you. But we're going on to, we've only got 2 more segments of the show to do. We have got Ask Waffling Wilson. So remember, if you are thinking, oh, I wish I had I'd sent Ian a question, then you can also by all means go along to this website here, or go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk and press the Ask Me button and post your question now, because there's plenty of time to do that. I'll just check Twitter. Is anybody saying anything on Twitter? Nope, nobody talking on Twitter. That's fine. I like to check. So go along there and post the question quickly, and then I'll answer it at the end of the show. But before then, we have got one of my favourite parts of the show, which is called the Opinion Minion. What I should get at the end of that is a Opinion Minion. The Opinion Minion. Now, remember, the opinion minion is the part. Let me get comfortable because I tend to rant at this point. The opinion minion is a time when I was very conscious in the olden days of the show. What used to happen is that I used to sit and I just used to regurgitate my blog and things like that. And I thought, I'm going to become a little bit sort of like, ooh, tell you what I really do think. And so far, touch wood, this hasn't got me into trouble yet. But I just like to, I have to say at this point then, my views in the opinion minion section is what I think. It's not what the institution I work for or anybody else thinks. It's just what I think. Okay, so it's my opinion. Now, one thing that I will say to you, which is always a fun thing to do, is that you can go to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and if you go across to the forums, so if you just click the Waffling forums, there is a section here called, you can't see it, let me just make it a bit bigger for you. Chunk, 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 chunk. Just here, there's a forum called Opinion Minion Forum. And here you will find the topics that you're going to be or have been waffled about the live shows. Why not get involved and add your comments? So within this forum, you can see last week's topic. So tutors don't use our social media. That's what I gave my opinion on. Electronic notes are the best. What makes a great teacher? And in here you can see that there's a brief introduction, and then if you click the video here, that jumps straight into the episode when I'm talking about the opinion minion. So you can go straight there and listen to it and hear what I'm saying. And then if you wish, and nobody has yet, if you wish, you can post your opinion down below. Now, in order to do that, remember what you need to do is that you do need to register, and there's a register button up here, and then from then on you can actually log in. And do remember, and I am getting there, don't worry, do remember that within the web page there's a whole load of levels that for OS badges that you can actually achieve. So you could be a waffling craftsman and get a little open badge there, etc, etc. It's interesting that when I'm streaming on Twitch, when I'm streaming games, etc, I actually do something similar, and that seems to have a lot more involvement rather than the web page and this show. And I'm wondering whether or not this is because this is educational. You know, this is educational, while the other ones are so like fun. Well, I would want this to be fun. Anyway, I'm not going to go on with that. I'm going to talk about this week's opinion, my opinion. And this week's opinion is rather interesting because I don't know whether or not you remember, a while back there was a Lancashire primary school. There was a head teacher called I think Rachel Tomlinson, I think it was, sent out a letter to the whole to the schools saying that their pupils were special and unique, and that the exam results didn't matter, the SAT results didn't matter, and you know, we talked more about the fact of emphasizing pupils' emotional and social well-being more than attaining high standards. Now, this went viral and it was very good, and everybody was very positive about it. Well, the interesting thing is the school recently got Ofsteded, and it does say here, head teacher whose praise for pupils went viral falls foul of Ofsted. And this is from The Guardian, so I'm not making this up, this is from The Guardian newspaper, and it said that Tomlinson's post-exam letter to pupils at the Nelson School went viral in 2014. The scores you get will tell you something, but they will not tell you everything, etc, etc. Now, the interesting thing is, it's just been Ofsteded, and the inspectors rated it as inadequate. Now, to me, it was really interesting, and I totally accept that this is only one side of the story. it says it attracted controversy by being sanction free and barring teachers from raising their voices, etc. And I was thinking, my opinion about this. What was my actual opinion about this? In the sense that, well, what should be the key priorities of schools? And should schools be focusing on children's well-being, or attainment, or mixture of both, or what? And the more I think about it, there's a quote in this part that says, it says, staff do not ensure pupils complete work to a high standard. In some classrooms, there is very little direction set for pupils on how to do their best or celebrate of what they achieved. Some pupils told inspectors that no one minds if you don't do our best work. Now, I think, to me, this is my opinion. In school, there is a key thing that I think is really important for children in school, and that they are happy, and they feel happy, and they are secure, and they wake up every morning thinking, I'm off to school, and that is a nice, happy, safe place. And yes, I have opinions about bullying and things like that, but generally, I feel that school should be a place that children are happy. They should come into the classroom happy, and it's my job as a practitioner to make that happen, to make it that children want to come to the classroom and want to come in and learn. Now, I said want to come in and learn. Children don't want to come to school to learn. I think it's our job as practitioners to sort of like encourage that learning, and to put applications to learning, and put a theme across in learning. And I think there's a really strong connection between being happy and good well-being and being safe in school and learning. I really think those two are connected, because I think if you are happy and you feel secure and safe in your environment, in your learning environment, then you are more likely to take risks with your learning and to try new things, and to put your hand up and to discuss things and almost like enjoy it. And while you're taking risks and putting your hands up and talking, then I think that allows for assessment to take place, more efficient assessment, and then it allows teachers to adapt the teaching to support learning. And I think if a child's coming to school not enjoying school, and they don't like coming to school, then I think that is it. Learning is at an all-time low. And I think, to me, what needs to happen is that you need to, yes, the well-being of children is very important, but that is almost like a transient stage. It's almost like a method and an insurance to ensure that they are happy, which leads to effective learning. And I think, to me, this school is completely correct in saying that, you know, it should, the well-being of children come first. That is totally correct, and I totally and utterly agree with them on that point. But the second most important thing is, to me, is that school is all about learning, and it's not about exam results. It's about learning and being curious and exploring and taking risks and pushing yourself and challenging yourself. And it just so happens that we have an education system that tests children. And, you know, even when I was growing up, we had 11 pluses and O levels, things like that. And there has to be a method, and what that method is to rate schools, etc., happens to be, or was SATs. Because, of course, now, there's the discussion about what will happen now that the levels have actually gone. So learning has to be there. Learning has to be there because it's an institution of learning. And just like in higher education, that's also an institute of learning. And when I'm teaching in higher education, I try to make it that the learners want to come to the sessions, they want to learn, but at the same time, their well-being is looked after, and there's an area of safeness and sort of like they're willing to take risks and challenge themselves in that environment, which will then increase their learning. So the question is, was Ofsted right? Now, there is, of course, the point of discussion that some people might have thought Ofsted went in and just did that just on the backlash of the letter, etc. And, you know, you can believe that, and I don't know. I really don't know. I would hope that Ofsted wouldn't have that that itinerary, that sort of like focus on it. I would have hoped that they would have the criteria across all Ofsted inspections, you know, focusing on pupil progress and well-being and leadership and management, etc. So I'm sure I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that. But I do think Ofsted is correct to identify if children are not being encouraged to do their best and not being safe in their, do not feel safe in the environment, or are not being celebrated with if they're doing good work. I think that's right for Ofsted to say that. And you might disagree. And if you do disagree, then by all means, go along to the opinion forums and put it there. You can post it anonymous if you wish, but, you know, by all means, put your opinion there. So to sum up, Ofsted, we have to live with Ofsted, you know, but to me, first priority all the time in school is children's well-being. And they need to be happy, secure, curious, explorative, is that a word? And really keen to sort of like learn. And then they need to feel safe, etc. And then the next thing is the learning. And that almost like underpins, that's the foundation for that learning work can actually progress from there. So yes, they were right to say that, you know, we know more about children than the SAT papers do. But at the same point, I do believe that if we look after the well-being and promote that curiosity, etc., then learning will come from that. And that is the end of the opinion minion section. I'm going to try to face the front. That was even worse, wasn't it? Good grief. Now, if you have your own opinion about that, then please go along to the Opinion Minion forum and post what you think. You can do it anonymously if you wish. It's completely up to you, but it'd be really nice to get some involvement and hear from you and sort of like hear what's going on and what you think of the Opinion Minion section. So we're coming to the end of the show. And there's only one more section that we have to do, which is one of my favourite sections or segments, which is, of course, the Ask Waffling Wilson section. The Ask Waffling Wilson section. And before we do that, I just need to cue up the music. So here we go to Ask Waffling Wilson.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Please note, the new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Do you want to know? That's the only part of the show I think that has the original music for. Because there used to be all different segments of the show. And there's been so many different segments to this show. It's unbelievable. But that's one of the ones that still has the original music too. There used to be another one that used to be a whole lot of people talking, which was about the blog, etc. But that comes in the website roundup. And now we have all those fancy things. I wonder whether or not... No, I'm not going backwards. Always go forward. So this is the fun time. This is the fun time when people have gone along to this website link and they have asked me a question. So I'm going to fire up the iPhone. And I'm just... getting it to the page. Here we go. Question. I never know who these are from, by the way. I just know because you don't need to put your name. If you do want to put your name on it and you do want to sort of like get a mention, then by all means just type your name dash and then write the question. So, what is a skill you'd like to learn and why? What is a skill I would like to learn and why? You know, I I can play the piano, but I'm not very good at it. You know, I could tinkle along. That's absolutely fine. I always would like to sing, because I can't sing at all. You might have seen some of my lip syncing attempts on Facebook, but I would love to be able to sing. I think it's quite nice, and I think if I could sing really well, I'll probably get into more into musical theatre and things like that, because I don't know whether or not I like acting, but I would love to be part of the chorus and just sort of stand there and sing. I think there's something quite wonderful about singing. I would love to sing, and I would love to dance. I think if I could do those two skills, that I would be very happy. Of course, I can do a bit of sign language as well, and I try not to go on about it because I talk too much about it. I know. But I do enjoy sign language, and I would like to, eventually maybe get really good at that, to be an interpreter, which would be fantastic. But apart from that, I think to sing and dance would be my skills that I would really like. And I think the reason I would like that is so I could start being on the stage more. Do you think I would look good on the stage? Do you think that's something I could do? Be musical? I don't know whether or not I would like to wear the makeup. That's the only problem. I might get all spotty or something like that. I suppose you can clean it off. But yeah, so the skills that I would like to do, probably to be able to sing and dance. And why? Because I would like to be on musical theatre. There you go. So that's the answer to that. Ask Waffling Wilson. So thank you very much to the person who posted that question. And now we're at the end of the show. Yeah. So thank you to anybody who has listened to today's show. I would just like to remind you about a few things before we go. Remember, you can go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk and you can see. I'm just going to make this really chunky big so you can see it better without me in the corner. There you go. Remember, you can go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and while you're there, you can have a look at the previous shows that I've done, my previous blog posts. They're all there. There's not just 6, there's a lot more. Remember, my social media sites are up here at the top, so you can follow me on Twitter by by using at iWilsonYSJ, and also remember that I have a Facebook page as well that you can go along and give it a like. If you would like to ask me a question for next week, then you can go along to the webpage ask.fm/Waffling or of course you can just go to the top. It's actually here. You can go up here on the webpage and click it for Ask Me, Ask Waffling Wilson. Don't forget, there's the opportunity to win a badge and a £5 Amazon gift voucher. So by all means, only 3 days left of that to the end of September. So by all means, go along there and get your entries in as soon as possible. Also, don't forget that you can watch previous episodes of Wilson Waffling Live. And if you would like to make a special effort next week at 7 o'clock, then please come along and join me in the chat. There's nobody in the chat now. Look, I do every week. Every week I actually set it up. Look, there's nobody. That's just me. There's just 2 of me. I've got an itchy eye. Excuse me. There's 2 of me in the chat at the moment, but nobody in the chat. But if you do want to pop along and have a chat with me on there, then that's fine. Or also remember, you can at any point you can throughout the show, you can message me either on Twitter or on Facebook, and by going to my Facebook page, Waffling Wilson, or Wilson Waffles, and sending me a message. So, hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you've watched it live, then thank you very much, and it's been lovely having you along. If you're watching this on YouTube, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It never gets any thumbs up, but give it a thumbs up, and also feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that would be absolutely fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed this evening's show. Sorry there's no Minecraft montage, but we had a bit of problems with the server throughout the week, and I've had to do a quick hotch patch on it. But hopefully either next weekend or the weekend after, I'm hopefully going to bring it all together. There will be a special video halfway through the week about a speed build that I did, so by all means keep an eye out for that as we go through the week. Thank you very much for coming along and supporting the the stream. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all next week for the 53rd episode of Wilson Waffling Live. I'm going to sign out now. I'll never be a famous YouTuber, but thanks for joining me, and I really do appreciate it. Have fun, and I'll catch you all later. This has been Wilson Waffling Live. Bye.